What's up, guys? Nate here with Hood Racing Co. coming at you with part 2 on slamming the truck. If you just watched the last episode, we got the rear done, we got the C-notch on, we got our hanger flip done, we got our new wheels and tires on. So now we're going to be moving on to the front. Got the front tire pulled off so we can get right into it. We ain't got no time to waste, so let's get into it. Alright, so as you can see, this corner of the truck completely disassembled. Ended up just kind of diving headfirst into it and ended up running into some snags, but not a big deal. We got it all done. So everything's disassembled. The disassembly itself is pretty straightforward. You just undo your caliper, your sway bar link, your ball joints, your tie rod. You basically just disconnect the whole knuckle from everything, pull it off in one piece. As you can see, it's sitting there. The challenge ended up being the upper nut and bolt for the sway bar link was seized, but I ended up getting that out, as well as the shock nut was seized, but we're changing that, so I broke that off. And then the absolute bear, like the most difficult thing I ran into so far, was the center bolt that goes through the bore of the radius, or the I-beam, into the radius arm. They kind of sandwiches them all together. That bolt was absolutely crustified into the bore of the I-beam, so I ended up just kind of hammering on it with some PB, some MAP gas, and the 1/2-inch Malawaka, and it finally ended up breaking free after my first battery died. I threw this one as a last-ditch effort, and it finally came loose. So yeah, if you don't drive a Michigan truck, it'll probably come apart really easy for you, but this one was quite a bear. So, you know, if it's stuck, you're just gonna have to keep fighting with it. Don't let up for a minute. But we got her done. She's completely tore down. So I think tomorrow's goal, I want to, real quick, you got to rob the sway bar link mounting bracket from your stock I-beam to put onto the new Dream beams. You can see it comes with a bolt for it, and also comes with a new pinch bolt for the upper ball joint sleeve. So I think tomorrow is going to be kind of cleaning up. Like, I want to clean up the radius arm, repaint it. I'd like to pull off the front sway bar and repaint that as well. The truck itself is pretty clean. I'm not really going to do any frame cleanup on this end. Just, it doesn't really need it. It's not super crusty or nasty or nothing. But yeah, I've probably been on this corner for like 3 or 4 hours now, just hammering at it. So I think we've got we got our work cut out for us today. We got the back half of the truck done, as you see in the previous video, and then I jumped right into it to get into this. So I'm going to call it a night for today, and we'll jump back on it bright and early. So I'll catch you guys then. So it's a new day, and started coming out here and tinkering. So we got the new I-beam mounted. We got the radius arm in place. I don't have anything snugged down yet. I'm just trying to figure out how all this is going to go back together nicely. So if you put these both in together at the same time, it kind of helps with the fighting that you would do trying to like do it separate, because obviously the radius arm has to slip over the I-beam on both sides. So that's what I kind of learned, is just do it all together at once. I don't know if it's because I'm using the stock radius arms or not, and not like new ones, but the bushing kit, the new washers, which I ended up using for this because I never had one, didn't fit on the radius arm. Like, the bore of the washer was just too small. So I'll just reuse the washers that are on the arms, which is fine. And new bushings, it'll be fine. But yeah, so I got the sway bar bracket on here, and the reason, you got to put it all together because it all gets sandwiched right there. So just, little silly stuff like that I'm, trying to figure out, and, try to take my time with it, do it right. One thing I do want to work on here while I still have access in the room to do so is the bump stop. Now, if you look here, you can see the 2 holes where the stock one, which is right here, had mounted up to the frame originally. As you can see, this guy is on its way out because this truck was living on bump stops. So my plan is to drill out that recessed pocket. I'm going to center punch it and then drill it out. And my idea here, even though technically, if you want to get real technical about it, the bump stop will be slightly offset from the radius arm, but in the travel motion of the I-beam and radius arm, it comes up at an angle. It's not a perfectly linear motion. So with mounting the bump stop here, my Get the Mastimations tell me that the bump stop will do something if the truck ever bottoms out. Now that's a lot of travel to hit that bump stop, but I have room if I need it, you know what I mean? So that's the plan here. So as you can see, it's that recessed pocket like I've been saying. So here's where you get creative with certain stuff, right? So these are the energy suspension pancake bump stops. They're flat, right? Well, why is that stud crooked? That's weird, whatever. So it's flat. If you try and put it up in the recessed hole and tighten it down, it's going to start trying to pull the stud out of the bump stop and prematurely tear it or wear it. We don't want that. So, simple solution, because I'm good at that. You get some thin-walled, you can see the thickness. What would that be? The height sidewall? I don't know. But this isn't a very wide washer. So what this allows me to do, and I already double checked this, these washers fit into that recessed area and it'll kind of push it down. So it'll give me something to torque against without prematurely wearing or tearing the bump stop. It'll sit right up in the recess and it'll take torque and it'll be fine. So this will work. So I'm probably gonna start that next. I'll be drilling out that hole in the frame rail, and you kind of have access to it. You can kind of get a small wrench up in there because it's got the weird brace for the engine mount and all that in there. So it's a little bit of a funky fit, but I'm confident we'll be able to get it done. But new I-beam looks good. I did a quick cleanup, just hit it with a wire brush and sprayed some what's that, VHT epoxy paint. It's for suspension parts, whatever, just to give it a quick cleanup, make it look okay. But yeah, should come together really nice. I put some anti-seize on this bolt down here, just so if we ever have to take this apart, Lord forbid, it'll all come apart. I won't have to fight with it like I did. So yeah, slowly but surely we're getting there. So I'm gonna get this bump stop drilled out and installed, and then we'll continue on with the reassembly of this corner. Guys, so I've been slowly getting the front end back together here. Everything's tightened down except for the I-beam bolt. That's the last thing I'm gonna do, just because I'm gonna set this assembly on a jack stand to give it ride height and then tighten it down just so I'm not wearing anything out. But these camber bushings are giving me a run for my money right now. This is probably just as difficult as getting that center bolt out yesterday. But essentially I'm trying to get camber dialed in. I'm trying to pull out as much camber as I can from it, and it's just not being a happy camper. I don't know if it's something with this being an aftermarket sleeve that probably isn't meant for this arm, or the fact that these are aftermarket ball joints. I'm not sure. So I'm going to show you what I'm trying to achieve on this one, which will be going on the driver's side. So you can see, focus, this top ear and the center ring, what is that? We'll call that U. Yeah, it's U. That is the most camber and zero caster you can achieve. Now, obviously, the truck's not going to want that, so you have to give it some amount of caster so it drives okay. Really? Now a train wants to go by? So you give it a touch of caster so you get your stability and ease of steering and whatnot. This truck doesn't want that. It wants more caster. It basically wants a half and half between max camber and max caster, which I guess realistic, whatever. But that sleeve, man, it just doesn't want to give up the ghost quite yet. So I constantly have to set it, adjust it, because I'm getting this thing where it locks the knuckle, and it takes a considerable amount of force to turn it back. Now, I'm not sure if that's enough to overcome the power steering system or not, but I'm not going to chance it, because there's this thing, if you guys aren't familiar with, it's called memory steer, and it can happen when a ball joint is seizing or other components start seizing. But basically the wheel, when you let go of the steering wheel making a turn, it doesn't return back to center. It stays in whatever direction you left the wheel in, and it's really scary and kind of jarring if you aren't ready or expecting it. So I want to avoid that. I don't want to compromise any drivability on this truck. So I need to get my half and half measurement going on that. So I'm going to keep fighting with it here, and hopefully get this front corner all together. We'll throw the wheel on and we'll drop her down and see how she's looking. I do still want to pull the front sway bar off. I have new end links, bushings. I think that's it. I have new bushings and end links that I want to throw on. I also would like to clean up the sway bar and repaint it, just to dress it up a little bit, make her nice. But little by little, man, we're getting there. So I'm going to keep chipping away at it, and I'll let you guys know what we come up with. All right, guys. So this corner is all completely assembled now. Finally got it all done. Everything's finally torqued down. I was gonna redo the sway bar, but I'm at the point with this truck where I just want to get it done. So I just put the new bushings on and the new end links and put it all back together. So if you guys own a Ranger, you guys are probably familiar with the plastic dog bone end links that these trucks would come with. Yeah, there's what's left of mine right there. It was broken. But TRW makes these nice tubular style ones that I painted gold. Kind of goes with the white and gold theme of the truck. And then these are the red. What are these? CarQuest? I don't know. I order everything through Rock Auto. But I think they're CarQuest sway bar bushings. And red kind of goes with the aftermarket dress-up parts we got going on. We got our new KYB shock that I just noticed started leaking. So that's cool. Whatever. Stuff happens. I'm not gonna cry about it. But we finally have everything reassembled. We have our camber bushing clocked correctly, that 50-50 like I was talking about earlier. And now we have nice smooth movement between the ball joints. Everything works great. So everything's torqued back down. We got our cotter keys on everything, cotter pins, and everything's looking really good. So it's time to throw the wheel on and see how she's looking. All right, guys. So right front's on the ground. This thing looks small. It looks funny. I don't know how I feel about the tire size yet. I definitely could go a little fatter in the rear. So I did do a test fit with one meshy in the back yesterday just to get an idea. And it'll tuck a, what is that, a 225/60? 225/60/16? It'll tuck it. It tucks it. But obviously for the rear, I'd have to get like some kind of air shock or something to keep the tire from digging into the quarter. But I do have room here. So we'll see. I gotta see, I can't condemn it yet. I gotta see how it's sitting once everything settles in and that corner's all done. But this is a rough idea of how the truck's gonna be. And it definitely dropped it a decent amount. Like, she's fairly low now. So we're getting there little by little. So let's get right to the next side. All right, y'all. Driver's side's torn down, but we hit a snag. So everything was going pretty well. Had this thing pretty, like, torn down pretty fast. But the final snag, because you know it's got to put up a fight till the end. The driver's side I-beam mounting bolt was seized into the sleeve, and it wasn't coming out. I tried heat, PB, more PB, a Mayan rain dance, and syrup, and nothing. So I opted for the time-consuming but safer method, which was to grind off both ends of the bolt. You get the nut off, grind the end of the bolt off, grind the head off, and then you can spread the mounting bracket and the I-beam falls out. So it worked out fine. It was just more time-consuming. Normally I'd hit it with a cutoff wheel, but it didn't work out 2 days ago. So I'm gonna be paranoid for the next month. So put a guard on your cutoff wheels. Just say that. But so it sucks we turned our bolt into mush because that's our I-beam mounting bolt for the new one. But not gonna let that stop us. We're almost there. So I'm gonna crunch on this thing and get it 99% of the way done. And then, well, let me elaborate. I'm gonna put a placeholder bolt in the I-beam, fully assemble everything. And then tomorrow, when I'm on my way back home, because I got a bunch of running around I got to do tomorrow, I'm going to stop and get a new bolt and nut. We can slap this thing in here and get her ready, get her torqued, drop it down, get this thing out of the garage and go drive it. Because it's disgusting. It needs a bath. I need a bath. I look like I've been in the mines. I look like I've been smoking Marlboro Red since 1973. I'm ready to get this thing done. So whatever I can do to keep this ball rolling, I'm going to keep it rolling, you know what I mean? So we'll get our new bolt tomorrow. We'll get this thing 99% of the way done tonight. And then whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to jinx it. Not going to say that it's going to be done tomorrow, just in case. But maybe. I'll let you guys know. So I'm going to crunch on this thing, get it going, and I'll let you know what we get. Oh, there she is, guys. She is all done. Finally ready for our maiden voyage. Got everything put back together. It needs a bath really bad, but it's looking really good as far as ride height goes. I'm excited to drive it, put some miles on this setup, see what I like about it. I did notice that the radius arm cross member and the trans cross member are pretty low. So I can definitely see these being an issue in the future, but we'll probably remedy that soon. I'll probably get the relocation brackets for that and then get the raised transmission cross member. But yeah, not too bad. I dig it. It's finally like low. Well, I appreciate you guys sticking around in this series and hope you like what you see. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, be sure to comment, like, subscribe. Thank you for your time, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.